The stock market has been going up in spite of bad news, which points to people are throwing in the towel and saying, well, it's going to go up, I'm going to follow it. And you know me, that's my game. I like to play the momentum, and I'm a swing trader, I'm a day trader. I can be longer term, but it has to be an awfully good stock for me to do that. And I have some of those. And I also have mostly swing trades, but I have swing trades that I believe in more so than others. Bonds did not work out because the Federal Reserve is reducing its balance sheet, which tends to lift longer-term interest rates and bring longer-term bonds down. That's why that's not working. China, it needs more of a stimulus than they're willing to give, and so that's probably why that's not working out. But it's best to stick with the good USO and to stick with stocks. To the extent I do bonds, it's just money markets. It's cash, more or less. But I'm going to show you my investments and show you what's been working. I like the S&P 500 as a base for my portfolio, and I've been trading the SPY, the SPY, which is the S&P 500 ETF, and it's gone up almost 7% for this month, and it's moving well. And as oil prices go up, they have a lot of oil companies in there, so that should balance the risk to some degree from the oil price going up. And I also have Berkshire Hathaway, which is the pink line, and that's gone down about 1%. Again, that's something I have for diversification, and I consider it a substitute for industrials. They have things like railroads and banks and oil companies and lots of individual businesses like See's Candy and Dairy Queen and assorted businesses. So it tends to be a more conservative thing. About 45% of the fund right now is in cash, so it seems pretty safe. And so these two are kind of the basis or the foundation of my portfolio. Two artificial intelligence stocks that have broken out are Broadcom, symbol AVGO, and Oracle, ORCL. Broadcom, of course, is a stock that connects everything to everything else, and Oracle has bought all kinds of Nvidia chips, so they're well prepared for the artificial intelligence flood that is oncoming. Broadcom has made 35% in the last month, while Oracle has made 26%, outstanding. They're both at all-time highs right now. Nvidia has come alive, especially since their founder, Jensen Huang, said that the demand for the Blackwell chips was, quote, insane. And Palantir, the stock that has awful numbers right now because the price earnings is around 100, it keeps going up, and so I've capitulated and bought it because it just keeps going up. And it's gone up 42% in the last month, while Nvidia has gone up 29%. So both of these have been wonderful stocks, and I intend to keep holding them. You can see why people are sticking with this market because it just keeps going up. Vertiv Holdings, which does electrical equipment for data centers, is another example. It's gone up 50% in the last month. They do mostly cooling systems for data centers. Its relative strength is 77, which is getting high, but you know, the relative strength can stay up there for quite a while without it being a problem. And especially when stocks are breaking out like this, I don't consider it a problem. I see it as a plus feature. TSMC, symbol actually on the stock market is TSM, is Taiwan Semiconductor, and it's the world's largest contract chip maker. They make about 80 to 85% of all the chips in the world. They reported Wednesday that third quarter revenue would easily beat both the market and the company's own forecast as it reaped the benefit from artificial intelligence demand. Artificial intelligence is alive. Looking at the chart, you can see that Taiwan Semiconductor, symbol TSM, made over 19% for the month, and its relative strength is 63, which is good. And as long as China does not invade them, I think it's a safe investment. I've always been leery of investing in it simply because of the threat of being invaded by China. And if that occurs or rumors start happening that that's going to happen, that stock will be declining massively and I will get out quickly. So I'm invested in it, but I'm somewhat chicken with it. But so far, so good. Taiwan Semiconductor's price to earnings is around 25, which is really good for a technology company. And its earnings growth rate is 18%, which is decent and which I expect to increase further given the demand for semiconductor chips, especially artificial intelligence chips. I wanted to stay in Google. I considered its statistics to be good, but the Department of Justice forced me out of it. The Department of Justice indicates it's considering Google breakup following monopoly ruling. The Department of Justice late Tuesday indicated that it was considering a possible breakup of Google as in an antitrust remedy, which would be disastrous. The Department of Justice said it was considering behavioral and structural remedies that would prevent Google from using products such as Chrome, Play, and Android to advantage Google search. Boy, that would really kill them. The judge has yet to decide on the remedies, and Google will likely appeal, drawing out the process potentially for years. That's the hopeful thing. Hopefully it'll be a minor adjustment, but everything is so integral to Google, it's hard to see how they can do just a slight job on the breakup if it occurs. So I'm out of Google for now, unless this process turns to the positive. Maybe with a different president, they'll take a different attitude, but I have to see what happens. The stock market now thinks that the Fed is going to cut the interest rate by another half a point. They give it an 80% chance that's going to happen. I don't think so. I think they're going to cut it by a quarter of a point. I think they worry about inflation enough, and I think they feel like they've done enough with the half-point cut to kick it off, and they want to keep the quarter-point cuts going for a while. So I don't think they're going to be eager to do another half-point cut unless jobs come in just horrible, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So that's the way I roll. Thank you.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be.